Hello students, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to my channel. This is a very important class on the series of Amazing America, and today we will talk about another very major writer, that is Toni Morrison. But before starting, I want to give you a brief introduction about myself. My name is Srishti Mukherjee. I have qualified NTA UGC NET exam in English literature 4 times and have also qualified West Bengal SET examination. I have 3 years of teaching experience. Moreover, I have also taught in NPTEL online course from IIT Madras 3 times. So that is all about myself. Good evening, Niharika. Welcome. This is the link of my Telegram channel. The link is also given in the description box. So those of you who have not joined yet, please join to get notification of all important classes. And also please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel so that many more new learners can join. These are the timings of your classes: Monday to Friday at 8:30 p.m., Saturday, Sunday off. So don't forget to join me live. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get notification. Okay, so let's start. Today we will talk about Toni Morrison, uh, a female American writer. So Toni Morrison, her timeline is 1931 to 2019. She has died very recently. Okay. So first of all, उनके biographical details देख लेते हैं. So Toni Morrison was born on 18 February 1931 in Ohio, US. She was graduated from Harvard University, and she became the mouthpiece of black feminist writers. She also became the editor, black female editor in fiction at Random House in New York City. She was greatly influenced by Jane Austen and Leo Tolstoy. And उनके जो थीसिस था मास्टर्स में, मतलब मास्टर डिग्री में जो डिसर्टेशन पेपर होता है उसमें उन्होंने लिखा था ऑन वर्जीनिया वुल्फ एंड विलियम फॉकनर्स ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द एलियनेटेड. Virginia Woolf and William Faulkner's treatment of the alienated. That was our thesis topic in masters. Good evening, Elena. Welcome. So she also talks about African black people who are settled in America. So that is the important part कि black consciousness के बारे में उन्होंने लिखा था. She also received Nobel Prize in 1993 and Pulitzer Prize for the classic novel Beloved. So that is about her biographical details. Now we will directly move on to her major novels. Okay, so first important novel जो बहुत ही famous है, that is The Bluest Eye, published in 1970. It's a very beautiful poem talking about racial conflict and superiority and inferiority of races. Okay, तो Bluest Eye published in 1970. तो इसमें जो plot है, तो two characters are there. Claudia McTeer and the sister Freda live with Mr. Henry, and the main character is Pecola. Pecola Breedlove is a foster child who also lives with them. Foster child, adopted child. So what happened? Why Pecola was adopted by McTeer and Freda? Because Pecola's house was burned down by her father. Okay, and Pecola was a black girl, so she was always oppressed and mocked for her dark skin color, and she longs for blue eyes, which are the symbol of aristocracy and beauty. तो उस टाइम में यही ब्यूटी का सिंबल था, blue eyes and blondie hair. So Pecola longs for that blue eye, which is for her a symbol of beauty, not only a symbol of beauty but also a respite from these oppression. Pecola is a little girl, but उनके दिमाग में ये बात था कि I am feeling so much oppressed, I am getting so much distracted from society only because of my dark skin color. अगर मुझे किसी भी तरीके से मिल जाए the bluest eye, then I can take a respite of, or I can get rid of this kind of existence. अच्छा, okay Niharika, that's great. Through flashbacks, the novel narrates the struggle of Pecola's parents as African American. So basically, African American writer के group में आते हैं Toni Morrison. She is not properly American writer, but African American literature, जिसमें हमने और भी important writers की बात की, like तो उसमें आते हैं टॉनी मॉरिसन का नाम, ठीक है। तो through flashback it talks about Pecola's parents also, and what happened with Pecola. Pecola's father rapes her and she becomes pregnant. Claudia and Freda help Pecola to survive her child, but the child born prematurely and dies. Now, after the death of the baby, Pecola goes mad and Claudia laments for her. So that is the story of the bluest eye. So it talks about how racism or the idea of casteism has killed a girl, Pecola. Good evening, Shravani. Welcome. So it is talking about, it's a beautiful novel and very vividly expressing the plight of Pecola. ओके, तो ये टॉनी मॉरिसन का फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट नॉवेल था। नेक्स्ट नॉवेल पे हम आते हैं, सूला, पब्लिश्ड इन 1973। So Sula is a novel which is divided into chapters, and the chapters are arranged chronologically according to years. मतलब एक linear progression of plot यहाँ पर देखने को मिलता है। It is just a kind of chronological detailing of the life of the characters. Good evening, Kinda. Welcome. तो दोनों कैरेक्टर का नाम आते हैं। एक तो है सुला, सुला पीस इज अ कैरेक्टर, एंड उसके साथ नेल राइट। So they are the two children who have only mothers. So single mother. They have no father, they have only mothers. So Nell is raised in a stable home. Her mother is deeply rooted in social convention. मतलब अफ्रीकन अमेरिकन सोसाइटी का जो कन्वेंशंस है, कन्वेंशंस फॉर वीमेन, शी वाज ग्रेटली इंस्पायर्ड बाय दैट. Nell's mother Helen dislikes Sula's family because Sula's family are seen as eccentric. In the context of the social convention, Sula's family are seen as eccentric. Now what happens that Sula's mother finally dies when her clothes catch fire accidentally. हैना नाम था उनके मम्मी का, तो Sula's mother की डेथ हो जाती है। But Sula is a very defiant woman who rejects all such social conventions and raises voice for herself. After a few years, Nell gets married and their friendship is somehow broken. Finally, Sula starts an affair with Nell's husband Jude. Later, Sula dies and Nell feels sad for her fate. So that is the story of Sula. It is talking about an outspoken woman who rejects all sorts of social conventions and rules and regulations prescribed by patriarchal society. तो ये हम लास्ट क्लास में बता रहे थे फेमिनिस्ट बुक्स में कि ये पैट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी का एक आप कह सकते हो कि एक स्ट्रेटेजी भी है टू फिगर आउट और टू just brand or mark those women who are outspoken as mad. तो मैडनेस इज अ पर्टिकुलर थ्योरी डेवलप्ड बाय पैट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी कि जो भी उनके बात को नहीं मान रहे हैं, जो भी पैट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी के अगेंस्ट में कुछ बता रहे हैं, which can or which may prove as the potential threat to patriarchy, then that woman is considered as mad and she is branded as mad ताकि वो किसी को भी ना इन्फ्लुएंस कर पाए। Okay, so here also the same thing happens. तो सुला इज नॉट गॉन मैड, बट सुला वो अपने तरफ से एक आउटस्पोकन है, तो इसीलिए नेल्स फैमिली उनको डिसलाइक करते थे। फाइनली व्हेन शी डाइज, देन नेल फील्स सैड। Okay, great, Elena. Yes, Beloved is a really, really beautiful novel. We will also talk about Beloved. तो बिलावेड एंड ब्लूएस्ट आई, ये दो नॉवेल बहुत ही मतलब ब्यूटीफुल नॉवेल है, माय पर्सनल फेवरेट आल्सो। एंड हमारे सिलेबस में नहीं था, बट आई हैव रेड द नॉवेल्स एंड बहुत ही मतलब सुंदर तरीके से लिखा है एंड ब्यूटीफुली एक्सप्रेसिंग द प्लाइट ऑफ स्पेसिफिकली प्लाइट ऑफ द रेशियल पीपल। ओके, चलो नेक्स्ट वर्क पे आते हैं, सॉन्ग ऑफ सोलोमन, पब्लिश्ड इन 1977। Song of Solomon. So it is a novel which won National Book Critics Circle Award. तो इसको याद रखना. And it also taken into consideration while awarding her Nobel Prize in 1993. तो द टाइटल इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. इट इज नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट किंग सोलोमन, जिसके बारे में हमने डिफरेंट टेल्स में पढ़ा है, मोरालिटी टेल्स में, कि किंग सोलोमन वाज अनदर नेम ऑफ जस्टिस. तो वो किंग सोलोमन नहीं है. It is talking about a community, 7 days, and the people of this community reciprocates the murder of every black people by murdering a white person. So it is a kind of very aggressive colonial violence, कि अगर कोई एक ब्लैक पीपल को मार देता है तो उसके बदले में एक व्हाइट पीपल को भी वो मार देते हैं. तो इसका एक बहुत अच्छा रिप्रेजेंटेशन है इन डेरेक वालकॉट्स पोएम अ फार क्राई फ्रॉम अफ्रीका. Though it is talking about a particular rebellion, that is the Mau Mau rebellion, but it also points out the fact, एक तो डेरेक वालकॉट criticize कर रहे हैं the killing of the Kikuyu tribes, and also on the other hand he raises the question that what about the white child hacked in bed. क्या ये भी जायज है कि ब्लैक पीपल वो इतना एग्रेसिव हो चुका है कि वो एक व्हाइट चाइल्ड को मार रहे हैं इन बेड व्हेन व्हाइल ही इज स्लीपिंग. क्या ये जायज है कि आप एक बच्चे को मार दो जो कि पूरे के पूरे पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो से बाहर है. तो चिल्ड्रन को आप क्यों लाते हो एज द विक्टिम ओनली बिकॉज ही इज अ व्हाइट चाइल्ड. so is it justified, she raises the question, sorry, he raises the question. So same thing happens here. It is not talking about child murder, but एक ब्लैक पीपल के बदले में एक व्हाइट पीपल का मर्डर करना ये उस टाइम में चल रहा. Good evening, Mukesh. Welcome. Ruth is the main heroine who delivers her child in a hospital. Acha, next what happens? The child is nicknamed as Makon Milkman. Originally उसका नाम था Makon Dead 3, मतलब Makon Dead the third, but उनको एक nickname दिया गया Milkman. Now Makon Milkman is very close to his aunt Phillet. Phillet uses a magic potion to provoke her loveless husband Makon Dead Jr. to seduce Ruth. He marries Ruth and this boy is born. So it is actually the son of Phillet's husband and Ruth. मतलब ये illegitimate child है in that sense. So however, Milkman grows up. He goes to Pennsylvania to find gold in a cave but fails to find out. Only human skeletons are there. तो ये भी उस टाइम में था गोल्ड रश. गोल्ड को ढूंढ निकालना इन डिफरेंट प्लेसेस. मतलब ये एक रूमर था कि डिफरेंट ऐसे प्लेसेस है जो भी वाइल्ड प्लेसेस है जिसमें लोग नहीं जाते हैं, उसमें गोल्ड छिपा हुआ. तो एक हुआ था गोल्ड रश उस टाइम में अमेरिका में, तो उसी के बाद यहाँ पर हो रहा है. ओनली ह्यूमन स्केलेटन्स आर देयर. Now, in that particular cave, he hears, not in that cave, but in that particular town, he hears the song of Solomon sung by the children of the town. This is a very popular song. तो बाद में उनको पता चलता है कि सोलोमन कौन है. सोलोमन is his grandfather who escaped from slavery by going to Africa. His own grandfather is Solomon. At the end, Milkman realizes sorry, that living a shallow life is meaningless and becomes a compassionate man. तो ये important है कि Morrison used male narrator for the first time in this novel. Narrator is male, though Ruth is a female character, but narrator is male. तो ये इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि सॉन्ग ऑफ सोलोमन एक ऐसे नॉवेल है जिस पर मॉरिसन ने पहली बार ये एम्प्लॉय किया था, फर्स्ट टाइम मेल नैरेटर. बाकी जितने भी नॉवेल्स है उसमें फीमेल नैरेटर ही है, बट सॉन्ग ऑफ सोलोमन इज द ओनली नॉवेल और द फर्स्ट नॉवेल यू में से विच एम्प्लॉय मेल नैरेटर. ओके, तो ये था अबाउट सॉन्ग ऑफ सोलोमन. नाउ आते हैं नेक्स्ट वर्क पे, टार बेबी, पब्लिश्ड इन 1981. Tar Baby, the title is also very interesting. It refers to a famous fable of fox and rabbit. So Morrison ने खुद explanation दिया what is Tar Baby. She said that Tar Baby is also the name that white people call black children, black girls, as I recall. So it is a kind of derogatory term. But for me, the Tar Baby means the black woman who can hold things together. So she is using in a positive sense, though Tar Baby is actually a derogatory term used by the white people to describe black women and black children. A sticky situation. Tar Baby is a sticky situation which is difficult to handle, as Morrison interpreted. तो अब आते हैं प्लॉट. प्लॉट क्या है? An anonymous sailor reaches to the island named Isle des chevaliers. तो उसमें दो कैरेक्टर के साथ मीटिंग होता है. One is Valerian Street, another is Margaret. They live in that house. Now Margaret invites a lot of guests, which is the reason for dissatisfaction of Valerian. Valerian does not support that. So during that inviting of guests, Margaret finds an anonymous man hiding in this house. So finally Valerian identifies him as son and gives him shelter. उनका कोई नाम नहीं है, बस उनको एक नाम दिया गया, son. Now Jadine, niece of the servant Sydney, also lives with them. She invites son मतलब ये जो anonymous boy था, for a picnic and gradually comes closer. They visit New York and start living there as lovers, but no care for money. They live a hedonistic lifestyle. After that they quickly move to Florida. And after that the conflict starts. He likes the place but she doesn't. दोनों के बीच में conflict होता है. They start quarreling. Finally the girl moves to Paris without informing son, and their separation finally happens. So it is talking about a very difficult situation from which we cannot escape. Yes, tar is actually coal, right? So that is the novel of tar baby. That is why tar baby is a derogatory term जो white people use करते थे कि as coal as as black as coal. Okay. Next novel पे आते हैं. The most important and most discussed novel, Beloved, 1987. 124 was spiteful, full of babies venom. First line था. बहुत ही एक मतलब shocking line. So Beloved, Paradise and Jazz, these three novels form a trilogy. तो Beloved एक बहुत ही मतलब different type का novel है जिसमें कोई chronological narration तो है नहीं. Setting is the same place where Toni Morrison was born, that is Ohio. Cincinnati is the name of the town. Okay, Mukesh. So अब Beloved में क्या दिखे जाते हैं? The main protagonist Seeth is the main protagonist whose parentage is unknown. Now she is sold to the Garners as a slave when she is 13. तो उनको slave में बेच दिया गया. Now she in that particular life, while spending her life as slave, she is the victim of various lustful men. She is oppressed, sexually suppressed by different lustful men. Finally, she chooses to marry a man called Hallie Suggs. अच्छा, उसके बाद क्या होता है? She also has two sons, Howard and Berger, but they have also left her. तो current situation मतलब ये तो flashback में था. Current situation में she is living with her daughter Denver and mother-in-law Baby Suggs on 124 Bluestone Road. तो ये उनके घर का एड्रेस है जहां पर वो रहते हैं. Now Baby Suggs is dead and the house is haunted by a ghost. कुछ थोड़ा सा एनोमैली इसमें है. अच्छा, Paul D is another man enslaved along with Seeth. Seeth के साथ एक और भी लोग थे जिनको enslave किया गया, that is Paul D man. So once Paul D man comes to meet Seeth and helps her to drive out the spirit. सेठ उनको बताते हैं कि घर में एक घोस्ट की प्रेजेंस फील किए जा सकते हैं, बट द घोस्ट कैन नॉट बी कैच. तो क्या किया जाए? तो पॉल ने उनको एश्योरेंस दिया कि चलो ठीक है, आई विल हेल्प यू टू ड्राइव आउट दैट स्पिरिट. बट डेनवर डिसलाइक्स हिम. डेनवर इज द डॉटर ऑफ सीथ. डेनवर को बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं था ये जो मैन आए थे, पॉल. Now he meets a strange woman who comes and wishes to stay with Seeth. He means Paul. तो अचानक एक मिस्टीरियस वुमन आते हैं टू एंड शी वांट्स टू स्टे विद Seeth. तो उन्होंने अपना नाम बताया Beloved. The name is also very peculiar. So that woman comes and she soon becomes the friend of Denver. Denver and Beloved बहुत अच्छे से दोस्त बन गए. So Seeth realizes that when school teacher, one of his nephews, arrived to take her children back to slavery, she killed her eldest daughter, and Beloved is that girl. So Beloved is actually the ghost of the eldest daughter of Seeth. बाद में Seeth realize करते हैं कि Beloved is that lost daughter, that killed daughter, जिनको मार दिया गया था planfully while taking back to slavery. But Paul does not know that beloved is a ghost. So beloved tries to seduce Paul once, and Paul leaves the place with embarrassment. Next, what happens? Seal spends all her money on beloved. एंड इससे क्या होता है कि बिलावेड इज प्रेजेंटेड एज अ घोस्ट, तो शी ग्रोज थिनर, मतलब सीत के और कुछ भी नहीं है, वो सारी चीजें बिलावेड के ऊपर दे रहा है, तो बिलावेड गेट्स बिगर एंड बिगर एंड सीत इज ऑल द मोर डिक्रीज. शी ऑल्सो लूजेस हर जॉब. डेनवर गेट्स अ जॉब एज द वर्किंग मेंबर ऑफ द ब्लैक कम्युनिटी. तो डेनवर जिस जगह पे काम करते हैं उस जगह के बॉस थे मिस्टर बॉडविन. ही वंस कम्स टू देयर हाउस. Thinking him as another slave catcher, Seth attacks him but cannot do any harm. Seth के दिमाग में हमेशा ये ट्रॉमा था कि the way her eldest daughter was killed, वैसे ही ये भी शायद आए हैं उनको मतलब कुछ ना कुछ हानि पहुंचाने के लिए, तो वो अटैक करते हैं. After a few time, beloved mysteriously disappeared. Paul returns and Seth and Paul live happily. तो ये ओपनिंग लाइन बहुत कोट किए जाते हैं. 124 was spiteful, full of a baby's venom. That is the story of Beloved, talking about a haunted character who is मतलब एक female character who is haunted by her own daughter. So a kind of eerie story. तो थोड़ा सा gothic touch है, but written very beautiful. Okay. नेक्स्ट वर्क पे आते हैं. जैज पब्लिश्ड इन 1922, पार्ट ऑफ द सेम ट्रिलॉजी. तो जैज इज अ हिस्टोरिकल नॉवेल जिसका सेटिंग है हार्लिम में. वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड हार्लिम रेनेसां, तो 1920s में सेटिंग. Now here it talks about an unhappy couple, Violet and Joe. Joe falls in love with a 17-year-old girl Dorcas. Joe talks with Malvone, a neighbor, to use her empty room for the meeting of Dorcas and himself. So Dorcas is a 17-year-old girl, so she is full of wildness and passion. So she gradually gets bored with Joe and she is now attracted to another young man called Acton. Yes, absolutely, Elena. Absolutely. Seth killed her daughter named Beloved in order to save from slavery and brutality of society. So that is the pathetic situation of the society. उस time. Finally, Joe kills Dorcas. Violet is a poor girl who lives in Virginia. After her mother committed suicide, Joe also came to Virginia. तो ऐसे मेनी डाइग्रेशंस है नॉवेल में. कभी डॉर्कस की बात करते हैं, कभी वायोलेट की बात करते हैं. तो टाइटल बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. टाइटल इज अबाउट जैज. सो जैज इज अ स्पेसिफिक टाइप ऑफ म्यूजिक. Like that music, each character has a solo composition which can fit together into a proper creation. ठीक है. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट हम आते हैं पैराडाइज, पब्लिश्ड इन 1997. तो पैराडाइज इसका ओरिजिनल टाइटल था वॉर, बट द पब्लिशर रिजेक्टेड दैट टाइटल, तो बाद में इसको चेंज करके पैराडाइज किया गया. इस नॉवेल का स्ट्रक्चर क्या है? डिवाइडेड इनटू 9 सेक्शंस. इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द डाउनफॉल ऑफ अ यूटोपियन ब्लैक टाउन नेम्ड रूबी, नेम्ड आफ्टर द लास्ट मैन डाइड इन द टाउन. तो द टाउन का ही नाम है रूबी. ठीक है. तो इसमें क्या है? मल्टीपल पर्सपेक्टिव, फ्रैगमेंटेड एल्यूशन, 9 पीपल रेड द कॉन्वेंट, पीपल ट्राई टू क्रिएट अ पैराडाइज. इस पर्टिकुलर जगह से एक पैराडाइज बनाने का एक स्टोरी है, बट दे आर नॉट वेरी मच प्रोग्रेसिव. तो ऐसे करके कुछ स्टोरी है, नॉट सो इम्पोर्टेंट बट पार्ट ऑफ दैट ट्रिलॉजी. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट एंड लास्ट वर्क ऑफ टुडेज क्लास, दैट इज अ क्रिटिकल वर्क, प्लेइंग इन द डार्क, Whiteness and Literary Imagination, published in 1992. So it's a literary criticism का एक वर्क है, and basically it is a collection of lectures delivered at Harvard University 1990. तो 3 पार्ट में डिवाइडेड किया गया. These are the titles: Black Matters, Romancing the Shadow, Disturbing Nurses, and the Kindness of Sharks. तो जो मतलब सेंट्रल थीम्स है वुमेन ऑपरेशन का, दैट इज फ्रीडम, इंडिविजुअलिज्म, इनोसेंस, इसके बारे में बात होती है. तो मॉरिसन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट हाउ द ब्लैक पॉपुलेशन is without any freedom and they are serving the white population out of fear. तो इसमें वो एक टर्म को कॉइन कर रहे हैं, दैट इज अफ्रीकानिस्ट प्रेजेंस. Africanist presence means the presence of black characters to denote the presence of white man. एक्चुअली में उल्टा था. एक्चुअली में ड्यूरिंग कॉलोनाइजेशन व्हाइट पीपल ये बता रहे थे कि आवर एग्जिस्टेंस इज नेसेसरी टू जस्टिफाई हाउ मच नेगेटिव यू आर. तो टॉनी मॉरिसन एक डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव दे रहा है कि ब्लैक पीपल आर नेसेसरी टू रीडिफाइन द व्हाइट पीपल, टू डिनोट द प्रेजेंस ऑफ द व्हाइट मैन. While American authors write about black people, it is American Africanism. It is a fabricated brew of darkness, otherness, alarm and desire. वो बता रहे हैं कि अमेरिकन राइटर्स जब अफ्रीकन लोगों के बारे में बात करते हैं तो इट इज अ फ्रेगमेंटेड एंड फैब्रिकेटेड डिटेल जो कि एक्चुअली में ऑथेंटिक है नहीं. तो दिस इज अबाउट द क्रिटिकल वर्क. Okay, so that is about the main works of Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison is a very important writer. इसको जरूर पढ़ लेना. So that is the end of today's class. Thank you all for joining. This is the link of my Telegram channel. The link is also given in the description box. So we will meet again Monday at 8:30 p.m. So don't forget to join me live. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get notification. Okay, so thank you all. Bye bye everyone. Good night. See you all Monday at 8:30 p.m.